Hello everyone, welcome to this presentation, Clever Cities, Exploring Nature-Based Solutions to Urban Regeneration Challenges. Clever Cities stands for co-designing locally tailored ecological solutions for value-added urban regeneration, one of a whole cluster of projects that have been launched by Horizon, the research funding program of the European Union. While Clever is not the only project that deals with nature-based solutions, or NBS as we call them, we do have a special focus on urban regeneration. The main question is therefore, how can we apply nature-based approaches in a way that helps us to overcome certain challenges of urban development? So at the beginning, let us take a look at the definition of nature-based solutions and the urban challenges I mentioned before. In Clever Cities, we use the European Commission's definition of nature-based solutions. That is, solutions that are inspired and supported by nature, which are cost-effective, simultaneously provide environmental, social, and economic benefits, and help build resilience. Such solutions bring more and more diverse nature and natural features and processes into cities, landscapes, and seascapes through locally adapted, resource-efficient, and systemic interventions. This definition tells us that with the use of nature-based solutions, we would like to achieve several targets. Firstly, we need to design interventions that help us to fight climate change and adapt to its consequences and, at the same time, halt the loss of biodiversity. So the first big task is to reconcile climate and environmental protection. Nature-based solutions consider that we cannot mitigate or adapt to climate change without protecting biodiversity and vice versa. Secondly, natural processes or natural features as inspiration for human interventions might not only benefit our climate, fauna, and flora, but might also provide solutions to social, economic, and health-related problems or challenges. This potential is often described by the term co-benefit. For example, the social co-benefit of a green square in a densely built neighborhood might be a greater social cohesion among residents due to the possibility to meet your neighbors in person, and this might lead to an overall enhanced satisfaction with the local living conditions. In Clever Cities, we try to tap this potential in a special urban environment, neighborhoods in need of urban regeneration. At the beginning of the project, neighborhoods have been identified that are in one or several ways in a disadvantaged position when compared to the rest of the city. Poverty rates might be higher. Residents are less healthy than in other parts of the city. Public spaces might be neglected or in need of upgrading. Sometimes the access to green spaces or also to extracurricular learning might be limited. These urban neighborhoods are often rather diverse, with residents from different cultural and ethnic backgrounds. Sometimes, certain groups might be hard to reach in participatory processes, either because of language or technological barriers, or because of a lack of trust towards public authorities. However, we need the full spectrum of local stakeholders if we want to bring these co-benefits to life. We have to connect nature-based solutions to the life experience of the people in the project areas through co-creation that leads to a customization of NBS interventions. So, given this point of departure, what are urban challenges that we identified in Clever? Well, firstly, social cohesion is definitely a challenge in our project's pilot areas. Diverse areas with different communities and neighborhoods that are sometimes not only separate by social, but also physical barriers. And To foster this, well, a connectivity, the interconnectedness within our cities can really be a win-win situation for both people and nature. Think of green links and green public corridors that foster both the exchange of people, but also create stepping stones for species to migrate between different habitats. An example for this is the Green Corridor, which is realized in Hamburg. Here we have a whole bunch of small-scale interventions which together form a green space that links the neighborhoods in the area. Due to the manageable size of each intervention, for example, green noise walls, urban gardening, flower beds, a guiding system for the corridor, a nature playground, and many more, involvement of local stakeholders was comparatively easy. Secondly, we talk about health and safety. Green neighborhoods are safer and healthier neighborhoods. Why this? Because the access to green spaces is not only a question of environmental justice, but in fact gives the residents the possibility for physical outdoor activities. The pandemic situation with curfews and mobility restrictions emphasized the importance of these nearby green spaces even more. Another health aspect that we look at is noise. The neighborhoods I have been talking about are often characterized by the proximity to main traffic links. Applying nature-based solutions here might lead to improved health through less noise pollution and the creation of attractive green spaces along the traffic infrastructure at the same time. Green spaces are also attractive spaces and are therefore more frequently used by residents. This in turn contributes to a feeling of safety that is often lacking in abandoned or neglected areas. What you see here is the picture of a train station in our partner city of Milan, where a green facade is being built at the moment. Our expectation is that together with the redesign of the surrounding urban space, this intervention will both lead to a more temperate microclimate in summer, as well as to more attractive and biodiverse spaces in future. Thirdly, there is another aspect to safety, namely to be protected against natural disasters. Most of the clever cities face the consequences of climate change, both in terms of changed precipitation patterns and rising temperatures. That means that we have to cope with heavier rainfalls and prolonged periods of drought at the same time, as well as with more intense and long-lasting heat waves in summer. For the first, we need space for storing and retaining water in order to prevent floods and provide water for urban nature in drying periods. For the latter, we need solutions that create shade and have a cooling effect on the surroundings, which can be perfectly done by several types of green solutions. Well, green roofs and green facades are a hot topic in all clever cities. Their multifaceted benefits include rainwater retention, creation of habitats for insects, better insulation and dampening of the urban heat island effect, as well as the provision of additional public space, if they are made accessible to residents. Most of these solutions have been applied all over the world for a longer time, but in order to maximize their impact, we need to customize them to local conditions, to the everyday life and needs of local residents. In Clever, we really try to involve all kinds of stakeholder groups, from long-term residents to temporary ones. Here, you see a joint gardening session with residents of a refugee camp in Hamburg. Several new formats have been realized. For example, a board of residents in London. The members of this board were randomly selected and get paid for their work in Clever. Another funding scheme enables residents to apply for funds to realize small-scale green interventions in their own residential surroundings. This is why our co-creative approach is at the core of Clever, the joint design, implementation, and management of nature-based solutions in order to build a shared sense of ownership and to create urban green spaces which actually meet the needs of the respective neighborhoods and contribute to the area's overall prosperity. And this again will lead to nature-based interventions that are appreciated and also protected by the local communities. That is all from my side. Thank you very much for your attention.